Hi everybody, how's everyone going? Welcome back to the 10-day Master Your Metabolism Challenge and welcome to day 9. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Naomi Judge. I'm a naturopath and nutritionist and I help women connect the dots between their health, hormones and happiness. And for this 10-day challenge, we've been talking about your metabolism. How you can upregulate your metabolism so that you feel energized, so that you sleep well, so that you have great hair, so that you have great digestion. You know, when your metabolism's not working, it can make you feel blur, fatigued, foggy, frazzled. It can make you feel constipated. It can cause your hair to fall out. It can even cause you to have low iron. So a lot of people with low iron, really what they need to focus on is their metabolism. So for the last 10 days and a little bit more, because I've had a couple of days off Facebook Live, I've been taking you through the 10-day Master Your Metabolism Challenge. We've been going through what foods to eat to help your metabolism, what foods not to eat to help your metabolism, what to do, what exercise to do, things you can bring in, little tips and tricks. So we've talked about that over the last 10 days and we've got 2 more days to go. So today is number 9. So congratulations to those of you that have finished the challenge. Maybe you've just started, maybe you're halfway through. So congratulations to those of you that have joined the challenge. If you still want to join the challenge, you can join the challenge and the link's just above this Facebook Live feed. You can join up and once you join, you'll get the daily emails for the last 10 days. I've been getting some great feedback from people just saying they've loved the daily inspiration, the support, the emails, the little tips and tricks along the way to help your metabolism. So it's well worth joining up. And then at the end, I'm going to package all of these videos together, the Facebook Live, and send them out. So you'll also have the videos all in one place if you just want to get some extra tips. And then I'm going to do a wrap-up Facebook Live next week for any questions that you might have. So it's well worth joining. So welcome to those of you that have joined me today. Today I'm talking about the amazing superpower of being super duper thermogenic. Being thermogenic is so very important when it comes to your health, your well-being, your metabolism, weight loss, energy, not having depression, not having anxiety. Thermogenesis is just what kind of keeps, if you think about your metabolism as the whole engine, think about thermogenesis as the parts inside, the little bits, the little things that go on in your muscle tissue, in your fat fiber, in your bone, in your digestion, little bits and pieces that go on that kind of spring to life. That's what thermogenesis is. And it's very important, and a lot of people don't have a proper working thermogenic system. It's not working for them. They might be feeling cold, they might not be able to lose weight, they might have more fat to muscle ratio even though they work out or even though you don't eat very much. So it's really important to get your body's natural thermogenic ability going. We can look at animals in the wild, you know, or we could look at shivering. That's a way we actually get thermogenesis working in the muscles to warm us up. So we sort of, and that's the way our body will do it. But we also need to make sure it can naturally do it from day to day through the foods, through our health, through our brain health, our hypothalamus. All of those areas need to be working really well in order for thermogenesis to occur and in order for us to lose fat to gain muscle. So what can inhibit thermogenesis? Well, as simple as being stress. If your hypothalamus is not working properly, thermogenesis won't work either. You need the brain to be signaling the body and to send the right signals to tell your body that you need thermogenic action happening in various parts of the body. Also, your thyroid. So if your thyroid is low, you suffer from hypothyroidism, you haven't got enough iodine, you're low in selenium or low in zinc, then thermogenesis won't work correctly either. So it's really important, you can see, to nourish all your glands or your endocrine system, and also to look after your brain and to make sure you're actually taking some stress reducing tactics. You need to be able to adapt to stress, and you need to heal this poor hypothalamus and pituitary and hippocampus. They all need to be working nicely, low inflammation in the brain in order for these signals to be sent. And also leptin levels. Leptin can trigger thermogenesis. If your leptin levels are out of balance, and we did talk about leptin a couple of days ago, your thermogenesis won't work correctly in the body. So you see, we need all of these things working in tandem, working together in a beautiful state in order for your body to do what it needs to do. It's not just about one thing, it's about everything as a whole. And we've been going over that the last 10 days. We've been talking about stress, we've been talking about leptin, we've been talking about appetite hormones, thyroid gland, your metabolism, everything as a whole. And it all comes down to this, and it all comes down to the metabolism. And by implementing these steps, you will feel fantastic in the end, and your body will do what it needs to do. So the first thing I want to tell you is some foods you can just bring in to help with thermogenesis. And thermogenesis, like I say, it happens at a cellular level. And it's really your body's rate, it's really your body's way of causing heat, and that heat will cause movement, and it will cause the cells to move, and that movement in the cells is what causes fat loss, muscle gain, heat in your body, warmth in your body, life in your body. It's the movement of those cells. So that in the crux, basically that's what it is. So foods like coconut oil, foods like grass-fed butter, ghee, foods like animal protein, particularly chicken, animal protein, and also whey protein, so really great quality whey. These all help thermogenesis. Then we've got a few obvious ones that you may already know. Jalapeno peppers, cayenne pepper, wonderful, they cause it, it's the heat. Also ginger causes it. Apple cider vinegar, so all these wonderful foods, 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar in water, that can cause it. But I love mixing that up, and I've got a tonic recipe. I've actually put it in the 10-day challenge on one of the emails, day 9 email about being super thermogenic. There's a little tonic, and it's a heat tonic. And that tonic, I recommend actually having that in winter time. So have that tonic in winter rather than having maybe cold water if you want, because, cold water is part of helping the metabolism. But if you're finding having too much cold water in the morning just doesn't work for you on super cold days, it's snowing or it's horrible and wet and rainy outside, you can go for the warm tonic that has some thermogenic foods added, thermogenic spices to just help that thermogenesis and get your metabolism rocking and rolling. So don't be afraid to mix it around, depending on how you feel, depending on what the weather is. There's no one house rule, and you don't have to stick to just one thing. You can mix it around. So check out that tonic on day 9. Have a play around with that, because you might actually really love it. And particularly ginger. Ginger is very good at thermogenesis. And one of the reasons I love ginger as well, ginger is such a potent anti-inflammatory. And anti-inflammatories are wonderful for your metabolism, but wonderful for thermogenesis. Anti-inflammatories reduce inflammation in the obvious places, in your joints, in your tissue, in ligaments, which is fantastic. But also, they can reduce inflammation in the brain. So that is an added bonus of having ginger. I love to have a little bit of a ginger decoction, 3 centimetre cube ginger, popped in some water, cup of water, boil it for 3 minutes. You've got a really great tonic there, anti-inflammatory tonic, but it's also thermogenic as well. So it's wonderful. You can actually do a couple of different things with ginger. And in the summer, you can add ginger to your smoothies. In the Breakthrough program, we've got wonderful recipes with we use ginger in those. So you can do a lot with ginger, and I do recommend if you love ginger, use it. If you don't love ginger, have a play around and see how you go. One of my best tips for being thermogenic is actually having a fatty breakfast. Having a fatty breakfast enables your body to start to utilize the fat stores, start to learn to use fat as energy. Once you're using fat as energy, it's going to help you to be so much more thermogenic. Oh, ginger cake. Have you seen Jacqueline, have you seen Brenda Yanchik's recipe for ginger cake as well? She's got a great recipe on her blog as well. I mean, I'd love to see your recipe. Maybe you can do it with some coconut oil, make it a little bit more thermogenic. I mean, that's beautiful. Or Alex Stewart has got some beautiful recipes for fudge, chocolate fudge. You could kind of make it into a ginger fudge. And that would be super thermogenic as well. I like the idea of that. Yum. I'm a ginger fan. I love ginger. I eat so much ginger. It just settles my stomach, helps with my endorphins and serotonin, puts me in a good mood. I love ginger. Yeah, take a look, Jacqueline. Take a look, Jackie. Fat for breakfast. So, things like having, bacon with bacon fat, cooking with your butter or ghee, having coconut products in the morning, having coconut oil in the morning, avocado, all of those things. If you start the day on a bit of a fatty breakfast rather than a carb breakfast, it sets your metabolism right for the day, and it actually kicks in that thermogenic action. The fat kicks it in, because what the fat does is it starts to help you to, at a cellular level, it regulates your metabolic rate. And at the end of the day, this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to increase your metabolic rate. So your body does things naturally, and you don't have to do everything. So you don't have to pound it out at the gym. You don't have to do all this. Your body's natural mechanism is to be thermogenic and upregulate your metabolic rate. That's the end goal, and that will happen if you just add in these thermogenic things. You work on your stress, your adrenals, your hypothalamus, and you work on your thyroid. All of those kind of have to be worked on hand in hand. So definitely having the fat in the morning will flick that fat burning switch, and it will help you to increase your metabolic rate, so you can burn the fat, use the fat you eat as energy. That's the goal here, and that's a wonderful goal to get at. So I talked about my metabolic tonics. That's on day 9, so go check that out. And if you haven't joined, you can join up and you can have a look at that metabolic tonic. But next I want to talk about exercise. And we do talk about doing lots of different exercise. I mean, yin activity like yoga is perfect for your hypothalamus, it's great for your pituitary gland, great for your adrenals and thyroid, and wonderful for your metabolism. But if you feel like you just want to get a little bit more happening in terms of your metabolic rate, you can add in some interval training, some really intense HIIT interval training. Now, not only does this help with your growth hormone, and low growth hormone can cause things like lots of swelling and weight gain on the thighs, it can cause lots of fatigue, it can cause low muscle mass. As we age 35 onwards, unfortunately, our growth hormone declines. And so it's really important to work on getting your growth hormone higher. And by doing some HIIT training or some intense exercise or some body weight training, you can actually get your growth hormone higher and you can increase your metabolic rate. Going too far lowers your metabolic rate. So you need to have this really nice point where you're doing just enough but not too much. Too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, as I've talked about the other day, reduces your metabolic rate. So doing HIIT training, intense interval. Now what does that look like? So intense interval training, HIIT training, that is an exercise where you will choose your exercise of choice. It could be push-ups, it could be going on an exercise bike, it could be going on a treadmill, it could be going on the rowing machine. Pick your exercise of choice. And what you do is you do that exercise of choice so intensely. I'm saying you go intense, 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 so intense you're feeling sick, so intense you're just out of breath, so intense you just, it's really intense. It should be super intense. But you just do that for 30 seconds. No longer. There's no need to go longer. You just do that for 30 seconds. Once you've done that for 30 seconds, you wind down for 90 seconds. So then if you're on the bike, intense, 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 30 seconds, wind down and go slow for 90 seconds, minute and a half, 90 seconds, slow it down, really super slow, get your breath back, really slow, relaxed. After the 90 seconds, bam, you go again. Intense, intense for 30, wind down for 90. Intense, intense for 30, wind down for 90. And you do that, say about 5 times. If you can't do 5 times, just do it 3. And you only want to do that max 2 to 3 times a week. You don't want to do that anymore. So we've got this intense interval, say twice a week, coupled with some yin yoga, coupled with a walk, coupled with if you want to do some planks, hold a plank for an hour once a week, that kind of thing, if you feel your body just needs a bit of strength. You can see it just comes together so beautifully, so nicely. It's just enough but not too much. Do you see? It just works so beautifully. It's just enough but not too much. You know, the way our bodies are designed. Of course, if you're training for something, you will go more, you will do more exercise. But this is wonderful for your thyroid, your adrenals, your pituitary, your metabolic rate, your metabolism overall, and for becoming thermogenic. So that is my favorite tip when it comes to exercise, because anyone can do that even if you're injured. So, because you can work out different parts of you. If you're injured, you can, you could just do press-ups, or you could just do some kind of upper weights, or you could do the bicycle, or you could do swimming. So you see, you can actually adapt it to how your health is. You can adapt it to how your body meets your needs. So that's why I love doing that. And I think, and you will find after doing that for a couple of months, good 8 weeks, it's going to increase your growth hormone and you're actually going to feel pretty fantastic. So I love that piece of advice. So I hope today I've given you some great tips to become super thermogenic. We've talked about foods to add in, like jalapeno peppers, like some chicken, like some whey protein powder, some really good quality grass-fed meat, and also your fats. Coconut oil in particular is wonderful to help you to become super thermogenic. We've talked a little bit about having fat for breakfast, and I've given you some advice on exercise. So your HIIT training twice a week, where you go intense for 30, wind down for 90. So those are my tips on becoming super thermogenic, which is such a great superpower when it comes to regulating and up-regulating your metabolism. Once your metabolism is working for you, your metabolic rate is just perfect for you, you are going to feel better, and you're going to find that losing weight is better, you're going to find your tummy is better, your hair and skin feels better, and you just feel like you're in a better mood generally. So I hope that helped today, and thanks for joining. And Jackie, thanks so much for joining. I'm looking forward to hearing how your ginger fudge or ginger cake turns out. Let us know what recipe you use, and don't forget to use the coconut oil. So thanks everyone for joining me today, and I can't wait for day 10. So we're going to talk about a few supplements on day 10, and then next week we're going to do a roundup with a Q&A. So I'm really excited. Thanks to all of those who have given all those wonderful feedback for the 10-day challenge. I do appreciate it, and I thank you so much. So have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks, Jackie.